All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the fifth episode of the Heart to Heart podcast. My name is Hafiz, and today we have a special guest, the Milkman himself.
Hey yo, you ready?
Please don't make this complicated. What about the time we wasted on our love? I can't keep the things we traded.
What's up, man? How are you doing?
Chilling like a villain on penicillin. What about you?
Damn, I respect that.
You got
Do you
it?
want to quickly introduce yourself just so people know who you are and just tell them a bit about yourself?
For sure, for sure. It's a one and only Milkman, the authentic Milkman. So if you haven't stumbled on my YouTube channel, make sure you check it out. I'm a content creator. I'm gonna start getting into philanthropy as well, but right now I'm just a content creator. And what I do is just go from school to school, interviewing students, trying to get their perspective on their experiences there. And for some reason, people are just resonating with the content. So I'm gonna keep on doing it until you guys don't like it. Actually, I'll probably keep doing it even if you guys don't like it because I'm passionate about it and I love meeting new people. So it's a milkman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, no, honestly, I love your content too. I don't know, it's there's just something different about seeing different people's perspective of different things, and then like the games that you'll play sometimes where you'll guess someone's program and whatnot. There's something slightly different about um that sort of interaction. And I feel like it's especially the fact that we don't get it today because of the fact that we're still in lockdown and whatnot. But we'll jump into that a bit later. For now,
For sure.
let's hop right into the first segment. Once again, for anyone who's not aware of how this works, there are two different aspects to this. The first part is a quick game, and how it's going to work is we're going to ask each other questions, and we're going to have to incorporate three random words into our answer, and then the second aspect, we're just going to get to know him a bit better. So, without further ado, we're gonna jump right into it. Um, shall I? Are you ready for your first question? All right.
Yeah.
So, my first question to you is: if you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, what food would it be, and why? Your words are delay, spread, and mess.
All right. Delay, spread, and mess.
Yeah,
Okay. So all those have to be in my answer.
that's correct.
So I would definitely eat lobster without any delay. That was my that was my pick.
Okay.
Whether it's a whole lobster, sorry, lobster tail, whether it's lobster spread. The reason why I say lobster is because you already know there's no mess. So I'd have to
All
go with
right.
lobster.
I like that. That's a really, really good answer. Do you actually like lobster that much to the
Oh
point you eat that
yeah.
for the
Oh
for
yeah.
real? Like the rest of your life, bro?
Yeah. I love
Damn,
lobster.
that's a first. I ain't never heard that before,
Now you can eat the meat in the claws or the tail, whatever. I love
bro.
lobster, man.
I'm telling you, eggs is where it's at. But like personal opinion, we'll let it slide. Don't worry.
Right. So your three words are appearance, door, and video. Okay.
Okay.
And so my question is, if you had an ideal co-host, who would it be?
Ideal co-host. Hold on. I'm gonna think about this one. Hold on.
Go ahead, man. Take your time, bro.
Just to clarify, are we looking for a person or are we looking for just the characteristics of what someone would be? Like, am I supposed to point out one specific person who would be my ideal co-host, or like the characteristics of someone who would be an ideal co-host?
Whatever you think would be
All
a
right,
good
all right.
answer for the audience.
Okay. So, in terms of who the ideal co-host would be for me, first of all, because we're gonna be on a video, right? Something we're gonna be recording. Our appearance is gonna be very, very important. So they have to be, dressing up appropriately, right? In terms of how you present yourself and whatnot. And I hopefully when the lockdown ends and whatnot, podcasts are going to be happening in person, right? And when you walk through that door, you better be hyped up, you better be motivated, you better be ready to kill in the game. So yeah,
Right. All right.
there's
All right. All right. I got you.
sweet. All right, cool, 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 cool. All right, so my next question for you: if you were a superhero with no superpowers, what would your name be? And your words are minor, check, and withdraw.
Right, right. All right. So you said what would my name be?
Yeah.
All right. I think my name would be minor check mark man because right, like writing check marks anyone could do. That's not really a superpower, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's you're a minor superhero. You're not really a superhero. You're a minor superhero.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I would have to play it safe. So whenever supervillains come, I would have to withdraw from the situation because what can I do? I can only write check marks. I can't do
Okay.
anything else.
Bam.
So that it would be minor check mark man.
I like that. I like that. I like that. You gotta withdraw because, like, I'm not trying to die because, like,
No.
you don't really have super. I like that. I like that. I like that. All right. Awesome. 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 Um,
All right. So yeah.
let's
So
go.
my question, next question is, all right. So the words you got to use are stereotype, kitchen, and pure.
Mhm.
Right.
Okay.
The question is, what's Hafiz Inc.'s target demographic?
Okay. So as a small business owner or whatnot, right? First of all, I'd like to start off by saying that, like, anything to do with Hafizing, every intention is pure, like every single intention. It's so pure, to the point. You know that honey in the kitchen, it's purer than that. Like, You know, honeys have a stereotype of being very very sweet and whatnot, right? That's what I align with this brand. I don't know if that made sense. I really don't,
Okay,
but
and the stereo, yeah, I got it. And the stereotype, yeah, okay, okay, I see you.
right.
All right, that was good. That was good.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
You
I don't
came,
know.
you got to come back
I,
on that. That's good.
yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, all right, cool, cool, cool. All right, so if your house had a theme song, what would it be? And your words are practice, embrace, and term.
Practice, embrace, and term.
Yeah,
All right, and if my house had a theme song,
yeah.
all right. So, if my house had a theme song, it would be Juvenile. Juvenile, back that thing up. Have you heard that song before?
Yes.
Yeah, right. Reason being is because when I invite, whether it's my girlfriend or it's a new female I'm seeing, she's
Mm-hmm.
got to practice what
Ah,
that song is portraying. She's got to back that
right.
thing up, and she has to
Gotcha.
embrace her femininity, being attracted to a gentleman.
Right.
So I like that song because it comes from a group who coined the term bling bling, which is Cash Money Records. So I would have to
All right.
choose back that thing, baby. All right, so I got the next one. So
All right.
this question would
Mm-hmm.
be: would you join the army? And the words are moment, number, and loose.
Okay. All right. Would I join the army? No. The reason I say no is because I'd be losing a lot of things in life if I do, right? A lot of, my goals, my ambitions. I'd lose the moment, right? The moment that we're living in right now, and the moment that I could potentially live in. Like, even if they put a number on it, be like, yo, I'm gonna pay you a certain amount. Like, even in that scenario, I'd still be losing quite a bit, and I don't want to. I want to live life to its fullest. So there's my answer. No.
I got you. So it's all about you.
Exactly, exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
hey, there's nothing wrong with
Yeah.
that. Nothing wrong
Thank you.
at all.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you. All right, cool. So your next question is, all right, so if time machines existed, what would be the first thing you'd do? And your words are incapable, knock, and profit.
Right. Okay. So the first thing I would do is go back in time and play the winning lottery numbers. Reason being is because when you're making money like that, it's incapable. People are incapable of knocking your hustle when you're making that much profit. You
Damn,
see what I'm saying?
damn,
So you're
damn,
always cashing out.
bro. Yo, what?
So
Yo, in one sentence, you knocked out all three. Damn, I gotta give that to you.
uh,
I gotta give that to you. Respect you. That was amazing. That was amazing. You killed that.
it's all good. It's all good. Okay, okay. So number four would be,
Hmm.
and your three words are parallel, stall, and ridge. Question is, what is your favorite quote?
Oh my god, I was not ready to think this deep. Um. Okay. Dawn Ridge. Okay. All right. So my favorite quote would actually be a quote from Kevin Durant where he said that hard work beats talent when talent fails to use hard work, right? And the first thing that came to mind was someone who, for instance, goes up a mountain, right? They make it up to the ridge of a mountain. It takes a lot of hard work. Some people are more talented than other people at it. Um, and I don't know, like when you're at the top, when you're at the top of the mountain, actually, some people will stall before they even get to the top of the mountain. But like at the top, at times it might seem parallel to um like other mountains and whatnot. But yeah, that made no sense. That made no sense.
You got it though, man. You got it. You got it. You give yourself some credit.
Oh damn. All right, cool, cool. I'm gonna take the L in that one. That made no
Nah, man, you're
sense.
good. You're good. Don't worry. Don't worry. That was good.
Oh god. It happened. It happened. That's okay. I got the words in. That's what's important. That's what's important.
It's all good.
All right. So if you were yeah, so if you were a zombie, what
Right.
famous person's body would you take over? And your words are rugby, snack, and revival.
Right.
Hmm.
All right. If I was a zombie
Yeah.
waiting for revival or lacking any sort of revival, the person's body it was a famous person's body I choose, right?
Yeah.
A famous person's body I choose would not be anyone playing rugby because my bones are too like fragile, right? So I
Hmm.
think I would rather choose someone big like Andre the Giant, where everyone looks like a snack. I treat
Hey,
everyone like a snack.
hey,
So that's
hey.
what
I
I
like
would.
that
That's
perspective.
what I
I
would.
like that. I like that. I like that perspective. Ah,
All right.
the other alternative that I thought of as soon as you said rugby is I thought you were gonna say they snack too much.
Oh.
I'd be like, yeah, like,
Nah, because
no,
they're always hitting each other. So you don't want your bones to fold up.
that's so true, bro. You do need bones to live. Those are very,
Right.
very
Well,
important.
zombies are dead. So
True, true. But like we're trying to take it from someone, right? Like those people would have
there you go.
the bones and whatnot.
There you go.
But yeah, all
All
right,
right.
cool, cool, cool.
So mine is going to be the three words are exit, temperature, and decide.
Okay.
Right.
Yep.
Question is, what is the most valuable lesson you've learned so far?
All right. Most valuable lesson I've learned so far. Um, never quit. Never quit. Like the minute you contemplate exiting a situation that you're in and you don't make a decision or you don't decide as to what you want to do, you're going to be left in a situation where you haven't accomplished anything and you've wasted time, or it seems as if you wasted time, and your temperature is going to start rising that stage because it's going to feel like waste of time. That's not something you want to do. So whatever you start, believe in yourself and what you're doing. um, give your absolute all. It never is too late, and surround yourself with important people. That's Surround yourself with good influences. That's very, very, very important. You are who your friends are. Yeah,
All
that's
right.
it'd
All
be
right.
that.
All
Yeah.
right. So
Sweet, sweet,
yeah.
sweet. All right, so that was fun. um Not my best performance, but that's okay.
It's all
Things
good.
happen.
Yes,
You did
sir.
an amazing job though, I gotta give it to you, bro. So good job there. And now we're gonna transition to the second segment where um basically we're gonna get to know you a bit better. I'm gonna ask you some questions about yourself and then some questions about um your your plan, your vision, just I guess questions about you would be. Um, so we ready to get started?
And I was born ready, man.
Oh man, I love that. Okay, so how would you like to introduce yourself to someone who's meeting you for the first time?
In what sense? By like name or
Let's say someone new just walks up to you. You're interacting with someone completely new who wants to get to know
right.
you. How would you introduce yourself?
Right. Well, it just depends on the context, right? So, like for
Okay.
example, if I'm on campus and I'm doing interviews,
Hmm.
and someone walks up to me, I'm going to introduce myself as the milkman, right?
Right.
If it's a friend of a friend's, I'll introduce myself by my first name,
Hmm.
right? If it's someone I don't know, probably won't introduce myself as anything because I don't know who this person is, and I would
Right.
prefer to figure out what their angle is before
Hmm.
I, engage in,
Anything.
formalities. So it
Okay.
all depends on the scenario.
Okay. Let me paint a picture for you. Okay.
Sure.
You're at a professional event, right? And someone and you guys are at a stage where you're trying to get to know each other, right? Like, sorry, you're at a stage where at the event where everyone's getting to know each other, like it's socialization time,
Yeah.
and someone walks up to you. How would you introduce yourself to them?
Right. Right. So I would introduce them. I'd give them my first name, and then I would also let them know what I do. So
Mhm.
I would say my first name and say I run a YouTube channel that caters to university students and helping them uh, decide, or not really decide, but providing them with the information that they would hopefully need to render a good decision when they're choosing a university. So I run, like I said, I run a YouTube channel,
Mhm.
and that's pretty much it. And if they're interested in what I am doing, then I will show them examples of what I do, such as the feedback I get, uh, the the reception that I get, and that's pretty much it, man. Like again,
Sweet.
I don't really like to give too much information, but
Right.
based on the context, if it's a networking event,
Mhm.
more than likely there's a reason why me and this person are talking. So it
Mhm.
would probably go a bit further than that.
Right. Okay. What is something that people seem to misunderstand about you?
I think people think I am extroverted,
Hmm.
right? But I'm not really extroverted. I'm introverted. I prefer to be by myself. Well, I wouldn't even say introverted. I'd say I'm a calculated extrovert. Then you could say because in certain situations I'll be extroverted. In certain situations I prefer to be introverted.
Is that an official thing?
No, I don't think so. I
No.
probably
Okay.
dubbed myself. It's probably
All right.
something
All
that I
right.
dubbed. So I'm gonna claim
Gotcha.
that. But
Mhm.
yeah, it's calculated. Um, because I know that I need to regain my energy in a space on my own. But
Mhm.
at the same time, I understand the value of interacting with other people, and human interaction is very important, right? And I don't really get nervous interacting with people.
Mhm.
So yeah, I would say I'm calculated.
All right. All right. Cool. 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 Awesome. Awesome. All right. What advice would you give your younger self?
Advice I would give my younger self is probably everything works out. Um, no matter what you do, there's always going to be a next week or a week after. So, for example, if I'm tripping over writing an exam, let's say my exam is on Wednesday. On Thursday, I'm gonna be like, damn, that exam is done. Now I could, do whatever I want to do. So sooner or later, you're gonna be living in the moment on Thursday and beyond the Wednesday. So no matter what you're stressed about, it's always gonna pass. So just
I like that. I really like that. And that's the thing. I feel like we put too much emphasis on, specifically with regards to school and exams, right? I feel like we put too much emphasis on, you know, it being perfect per se, or not necessarily perfect, but like on the fact that we need to do well, and we overburden ourselves, not realizing that 2 years down the line, that one test is not going to matter. It's going to be absolutely
not
irrelevant.
gonna matter at all.
Um, and I feel like that's one of the things that I learned over time. Um, and I just don't. I just don't stress out over exams anymore. It's not something I do, unfortunately. Which-
Yeah, there's
It
no
has
reason. Sorry,
like
go
it
ahead.
has its bro. It has its pros and cons. Okay, I gotta say, because sometimes I do get a little too comfortable, and then actually not end up studying well enough. But but I just don't stress out over exams.
But see, you're good because you go to York, and I used to do that at York a lot. And eventually, like I wouldn't study, and for some reason, things would just start working out. Like I'd say, like let's say for example, it's a week before. I'm like, I'm gonna study like maybe an hour every
Mhm,
day before this exam. Yo,
mhm,
it'll come closer to that day, and I haven't studied anything. But for some reason, somehow, someone either calls me or messages me, or when I go to a class, I find out that someone has some sort of like help guide that would have made the situation easier, or the teacher decides, what, we're going to do a study guide. So if you come to my
mhm.
class, I'll help you guys out. So there's always something that eventually unfolded, that that's why
Yeah,
I don't really have that stress gene in me, where it's just like, oh, I'm stressing out over something. There's things that I
yeah,
would be concerned about, but I know I always reinforce the idea that this
yeah,
is gonna pass, so just get it over with,
yeah.
and you'll be laughing at it when it's done.
Exactly, exactly. And I think that's very, very important for your mental health as well. That's another thing that doesn't get um stated enough, in my opinion, where like the you're negatively anytime you put in unnecessary stress on yourself, you are you're honestly holding yourself back. Like that's what you do. Because what you end up doing in that situation is busying your mind busying your mind by worrying about things that haven't even happened,
Right,
things in the future, right? That hasn't happened. Like, don't stop. Like, no, just
right.
don't worry. Like, things will end up well.
And not only that, man, like your mind, your brain, in my opinion, is the most important, or the most important muscle in your body. So if
Hmm.
you're constantly worrying about something, I think your brain is overworking, which in turn I think also negatively affects your physical health.
Hmm.
Because if your brain can't deal with certain functions because it's only worrying about one thing, certain things are going to break down. So that
Definitely.
is just my thought. I haven't seen
Yeah.
any medical evidence in regards to that, but I just feel
Yeah.
that when you're in a space that you're just laid back, you'll just deal with the consequences. I think it's
Mhm.
just beneficial for you.
Yeah. That's a good disclaimer to make. None of what we say is like been. It's not like from a research study or anything. Um, I mean they might be, but I don't know. I haven't found it from there or anything.
Right.
But these are just what we tend to experience, from our personal lives, from speaking to a bunch of other people, from interacting with other people, etc., etc., etc.
Right.
All right. All right. So I got two more questions for you. Okay. So first question here is if if you could remove all barriers, all right, and all constraints, what project would you want to do, and why would you want to do that project?
Barriers to anything.
Anything.
If there were no barriers, I would probably either want to uh go deep sea diving,
Okay.
so like as far as possible. So if there were no like visual barriers, temperature barriers, respiratory barriers in terms of breathing, because I really want to. I want to know what's down there. Like,
Hmm.
you're only told based on like anecdotal evidence or like stories and stuff like that. Like, have you heard of the movie The Abyss by James Cameron? I
Not
think it's James
quite.
Cameron.
No, not
Sorry.
quite. No, not quite. Not quite.
Okay. So this is just a quick story. So James Cameron, he did the Titanic movie. I think it was him that did the Titanic movie.
Hmm.
So he wanted to go deep sea diving, right?
Hmm.
But he knew, I read the story online. He knew that the executives, Hollywood executives, wouldn't fund him wanting to go deep sea diving. They're just like, yo, get out of here. So he's like, what I'll do is make a movie about deep sea diving. So what they did was funded his research to make that movie. So I think he holds one of the lowest dives, or one of the
Hmm.
deepest dives, because it was part of his research, right? And then he made the movie called The Abyss, which is about people going deep underwater and finding new life forms, right? So
Hmm.
I just find it fascinating that there's life existing in places that we can't even function. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Okay, I like that. I like that. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. What would the outcome of that be? So, like, what would you want to share with the world based off of that project that you would want to do?
experience or
Experience.
video. If there was, again, if there's no barriers, I could take video
Yeah.
down there, most deaf, and for sure facing your fears. But again, like if there's no barriers, then I guess fear may not even exist because one of the barriers again would have been you can't see when you're down that deep. It's so pitch black that you can't see. So if you could see everything, maybe you fear stuff, maybe you won't. Depends how
Okay.
things look down there, right? So
You know what?
who knows?
You're right. You're right. You're right. Definitely. All right. All right. So my last question to you is, okay, what should I ask you that I don't know enough to ask?
So I
Yeah.
think the question would be, why do you do what you do? Honestly, like one of the most fulfilling things is when you're helping people out, but you're doing something that you enjoy doing, right? So some people consider it a calling that all you could think about, like for example, when I'm making these videos that's helping people, sometimes I can't even go to sleep because in my mind I'm like, oh, this idea, maybe if I put this idea together, it'll help out, right? So honestly, I think that the reason why I'm doing this is because it could be a calling, but I enjoy helping students out. There's a big rap CEO named James Prince. Sorry, Jay Prince Jr. Sorry, or no, Jay Prince. His name's Jay Prince from Houston. He says nowadays there's no OGs, there's only IG, meaning there's no one teaching or showing the youth or showing younger people information that is beneficial. The majority of the information they're getting is just from Instagram, right? And who knows if it's beneficial or if it's just for the moment. So I think that I'm adding to that narrative of being an OG because people hit me up and say, "Man, you're an OG. That video helped me out. Man, you're an OG. I need to see a video about this and that." So you feel like you're contributing to the world and you're giving back, and there's no other feeling like that for me. So that's why I do what I do.
That's amazing, bro. I relate to that on so many levels. And it's,
Really, really, can you give one of them?
bro, the fact that, well, A, the feeling of satisfaction knowing that you've in any way possible help someone, bro. Like, we've been I forgot exactly what it's called, but basically when happiness is derived from, or you obtain happiness by giving to people. I forgot the exact psychological term for this, but basically ha- you get happiness by giving to people. And the most valuable thing on this planet after time is knowledge, right? That's the one thing you can't buy. And when you can provide people with that, and you see how grateful they are, and how um like how much they appreciate it, and the biggest part is when you see that their life genuinely changed, and you're like, wow, like i
Right,
I really did that, that really happened. Like, and then you start getting grateful for that opportunity, and then it just continues. Like, bro, trust me, I feel you on that. Really resonated with
for
me,
sure.
honestly,
For sure, man. Because not
without a
not
doubt.
everyone could say that. Not everyone
Exactly.
could say that. Yeah, that they give it back, right? Like a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah.
people, they're just relegated to just going to work or either going to school or whatever, and then going home and then doing that back and forth. Like what you're doing right now is something that when you leave the earth, people could look back, say, "Yo, Hafiz put this together. Like he
Wow.
created this." So
Thank
you'll constantly live on even when you're not here,
you.
right?
Thank
So I
you.
think learning that is like even it just adds on to the importance
Yeah.
of what we do because what we do giving back will constantly give to people um that we may not have even met, right? So
Yeah.
it'll just exponentially grow.
Yeah. I feel like that's the most fascinating part. It's like with social media and the reach that you can get and whatnot.
Mhm.
It's like I've honestly asked myself this question a few times. Like, how many people um have there been who I might have influenced without knowing? And like anytime I think about that, I stop thinking about it right away. I'm like, no, you can't think like that because, and here's what's important: ego at some point will get in the way, and like you gotta control that. Like your ego needs to be. I firmly believe in the. Well, I believe in the fact that life will slap you back to reality when your ego becomes too high, but also when you're preaching something, you do need to follow it yourself. I'm also very high on that. It's like if
Right.
you're preaching something, you better follow it yourself.
Well, give me an
Um,
example though. Like, what are you talking about?
fitness. I love fitness. I keep telling people to work out and whatnot. Like if we've had a good conversation, I've told you to work out at some point. And it would be very hypocritical if I tell you to work out and I don't do it myself. If I tell you to go out and get fresh air often and I don't do it myself. Pandemic is an exception. But like,
Right.
you know, so like if preaching something, like whatever it is, whether it's respecting people, respecting yourself, setting yourself to high standards, whatever it is, if you're preaching something and you don't do it yourself, that's hypocritical. And I very much do not like that. And no one's perfect. We all make mistakes and whatnot. But it's like once you realize it, like you better correct that. Like that's how I see things. That's how I live by things. So yeah.
Right.
Any yeah,
That's cool.
yeah, all right.
That's
Any
cool.
last words, anything at all that you'd like to end off with?
Man, everyone knows, everyone's watching, whoever's watching this is a Milkman Hafiz. Thank you very
Yes,
much for
sir.
having me on your platform.
Thank you.
Everyone watching this is going to be the podcast to be watching. So make sure you
Thank
tune
you.
in. I hope you guys had your popcorn and you enjoyed every single moment of it because, again, you will never have an opportunity like this again. But make sure you subscribe to Hafiz's YouTube. Make sure you check out the Milkman on YouTube as well. And yeah, of course we both got a lot of content coming for you guys. Other than that, it's up to you. Whatever you want to say.
Damn. Yo, you were really good at this outro, bro. Like you nailed that. That's amazing.
I've had practice, you know.
I could tell, bro. I could tell,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you did a really really good job of it. So yeah, you pretty much said everything that I was about to say. Make sure to follow him also on all social media platforms. IG, YouTube. I think YouTube is his main his primary one, like his main one. So make sure to follow him there. I'm gonna be tagging it either on the screen or in the description or both. But you are gonna be able to follow him and whatnot. He's doing an amazing job, bro. Keep the work up. I gotta give it to you, bro. Keep it up. Honestly, you're doing an amazing job. And yeah, so with that being said, thank you for tuning in. It was an amazing session. Um, Milkman, is it Mr. Milkman or do you just go by Milkman?
Nah, man, I go by the THE,
The Milkman.
the
My
Milkman.
bad.
It's all
I was an amazing session. The Milkman, and yeah, I'm excited for what's to come. I'll see y'all later. Take care.